Yeah, well, welcome everybody to our March energetic tune-up. I'm really happy that you guys all came, and especially that you're here live, because March is a really intense month and complex in that way, in that it marks the finale, of this era of untruth. Well, the beginning of the finale, the shedding, the letting go, the turning point, the culmination of all those doomsday fears that have built up through this collective gaslighting in the past.
Soul love.
Soul love is really all about the courage to love our soul more than our ego. That's the simplest way to express it. So if I can show my love to my soul self by nourishing our spiritual relationship, I can not only feel, but also reclaim the power of the unified soul self that I am, and feel the warmth of love in me that brought me into this existence. Sounds a bit dramatic, but it is a real experience. Some of you who were there in the Connect with Your True Self may have had an opportunity to feel it there. If you weren't there, listen to the True Self talk in February. There were some cool, beautiful things that came forward in there that you can tap into. If you just sort of, I guess, pray or meditate with your true self. Here, straight into the themes of March. So we're moving into this active transformation phase now, guys. It's no longer just looming, just coming, just us feeling that it's coming, right? It is there. And this obviously triggers a lot of your stuff within each and every one of us, because, it's one thing to expect something, and then it's another thing when we're actually confronted with it. Yeah. And no matter how much we think we've already processed stuff and so forth, stuff will come up. Yeah. So this active transformation phase brings up the need for us to be good energy managers, and know how to withstand and overcome the fear that has been restricting us, including our dependency. So for some of us, it's really physical. For others, it's very practical, or practical, physical, 3D. Okay, so it's very pragmatic. Yeah, and even though I called soul love as sort of the main resonance for the month, I really need you to get into this deeper understanding of spirituality, namely that spirituality is very pragmatic, very pragmatic. We will all get new impulses, an impulse to let go, an impulse to maybe downsize, an impulse to maybe suddenly move from where we're at to buy real estate or to sell real estate, to really make it happen. I know that many of you have been sort of toying and playing around with those thoughts, and obviously observing the real estate market. March is a month that has a lot of impact on the real estate market. So pay attention, consciously choosing what gives you power and what takes power from you away. So in this pragmatical sense, it can mean, for example, in regards to real estate, is, paying rent every month the right strategy for you, or, is living with all these increased costs of energy and insurance and so forth more restricting for you than maybe just selling it, getting rid of it, letting go of it. It depends on the situation. It's really kind of like an integrity test for our life right now. Like, where are we in truth with ourselves and where we are not? So obviously this isn't always easy for the ego, because the ego is the one that has been keeping up all the illusions and justifications, and that's now what we need to face. Okay. Collectively, it's the height of revelation of truth. Yeah, the big reveal is here. It's full on media and truth war out there, guys. It will be very entertaining if you have found ways to balance, your curiosity about how it all unfolds and not getting pulled into this. Yeah, the increasing rage, the injustice, the betrayal, the revolt, yeah, that is building in people. There's a big collective awakening going on right now, and yes, we will have a lot of talk about war. This will be going on all year, but it's starting now, and it's not actually funny. Okay, so some of you are closer to the war the talks, and some of us are seemingly farther away, like the ones here in the United States. We think it doesn't affect us. Well, think again, it will. Awakening to a higher soul reality will show you that whatever you believed in, what your history is, will have to be reframed. It's a new history that we're looking at, that we're making right now. So in that, it's also an integrity test for the governments, for the corporations, as you all know, for the leadership out there, for the authorities that have also been playing a part in restricting us. Yeah, and what we will see here, especially now until May, is new self-organizing networks, new collaborations, also new churches or whatever feels like spiritual groupings. It's very interesting, actually. And if you can get past your own fear, you can recognize that there is such a powerful manifestation and co-creation energy in this time right now, yeah, that you don't really need to be afraid. So the code breaker for March, guys, is letting go of the fear that, yeah, there's a typo here, that restricts us, yeah, that it creates this illusion of powerlessness. Yeah. And actively stepping into only choosing what brings more truth, more love, more good, and more beauty into this world, but especially for you guys here, into your life. Yeah, there are some things that you are looking at right now that you have been looking at for like 10 or maybe even more, 20 years. And you know it's coming. And yes, it is here now. Okay, so these things need to be faced now. But be aware that it is the way you frame it and the way you deal with your own ego here that determines the outcome. So this letting go of the fear is really about letting go of the outcome to a degree, because the outcome is determined and restricted by your ego. So you have to recognize that you cannot look beyond what your ego can imagine, and therefore it's an illusion. Your fear is an illusion. These massive manifestation energies that are here right now, that they force you, and I know this is okay for most of you because you have been in training, but now you really got to pay attention to the detail. Any thought, sentiment, imagery, yeah, imaginations or actions that increase love, truth, and freedom in your life, that feed and strengthen the relationship with your thought, with your soul, are the ones that you need to focus on. Any thought, sentiment, imagery, or action that increases fear or hatred feeds darkness in you and shrivels your soul. If you could see how I see it, and I know some of you do, it would be easy for you to follow this advice, because fear and hatred, and there are some movies out there that are really good in sort of translating this into pictures, feeds those dark entities, feeds the demons in you guys. It really feeds them. And when you focus on love, on beauty, on creativity, on truth. It starves them. Which is why you don't need to be afraid if you can control your thoughts, your sentiments, and your choices. You don't. But we are in a toxic environment, and we are being spoon-fed with this, with the toxicity of fear and apocalypse and hatred and injustice and war, which means that you cannot check out. Because if you go into your sleep mode, okay, where you just, not this week, I'm just gonna, do the things that make me feel good. Yeah. You will be exposed and you will ingest the toxicity of the collective gaslighting that you are in, that we are all in. So here, images such as this, music, paintings, movies, poetry, meditation, connection with animals, with nature, with anything that helps you to feed your soul with the gratitude and the abundance that is also there, is what gives you the courage and the fearlessness that is needed. So the code breaker tool is self-reflective, or better say a self-reflective question, and that is, what is it that you give your power to that can be used to manipulate or control you? That's how you can, well, you just need to follow the breadcrumbs, but that's how you can find out what it is that you need to let go of, what it is that restricts your perception, that brings in all these error perceptions. And those of you who already have a good feel for when your soul speaks to you, you already know this. The breadcrumbs are your resistance, your inner resistance. You know your soul's purpose, and there's nothing left that you need to resist. And spoken in energetic terms, yeah, the resistance is the shit magnet in you. Yeah. So if you're afraid of something, it creates a huge, big attractor field for this demonic force to come and eat your soul. It's a bit graphic, but that's actually what it looks like. Which is why we need to focus on the warmth of the love in us, the warmth of the love in us that brought us into existence. It helps us to shed this false orientation on external love. I can see the divine creation in the confrontation with untruth, and I fear not. Because there's nothing that you need to fear when you know that you are actually a spirit being, a soul that has a physical experience, rather than some kind of physical materium that is also having a soul somewhere. Okay, when you can really wrap your mind around you being a spirit being, you do not need to be afraid of those restrictive elements here in 3D. You still need to be smart and you still need to be pragmatic. So you can't go off on the rail, you can't go off to the Luciferian and check out entirely and just see yourself as a spirit, that doesn't want to have a physical experience. That doesn't work either. So remember here, very good impulse to watch those workshops about the duality of darkness, understanding the dynamics of darkness inside of you, and where you can find this space of courage and fearlessness within you, and the center of your center, and the balance of the two. So the call is, the activation that you have already felt here is active soul participation. And that's expressed in the alignment as now I'm ready. Now I'm ready. You have been initiated. The main focus in March is the courage to face things as they are and learning from it. Yeah? Recognize every experience as a learning experience. And what I said here about the confrontation with untruths, you can also replace the word untruths with demonic, with dark, with war, with fear, with, evil. Yeah. When you understand that, then it is your consciousness. Yeah. And here all the different ways of being here in this 3D, expressed through your body, mind, heart unification. Yeah. And through the discerning, the aligning, and embodying. That shows you this, that allows you to feel this. I don't want to go deeper into this. The main challenge is obviously to let go of our biggest adversary, and that is our ego's fear of the future. And you have to be willing to see this as an error perception, as an illusion, because as spirit being, you do not need to be afraid of the end of this physical experience. You don't need to haste to it either. You can just allow it to be. Be okay with the restrictions, with the limitations that come in just through the fact that you're having this physical experience, and really understand what it means to see every experience as a learning experience. The main opportunity in March here is this true transformation now. This active, like this same with active soul participation. It's like you signing up for it. And as you're doing that, you're shedding all that which has been holding you back. You become real. And that allows you to uncover your true purpose. And guess what? When you are real, when you realize what you truly came here for, and for many of you, this comes with a big sort of karmic aha. But when you do, you have less fear and a lot more maturity. And that's the good news about these aspects here that we are now entering with March 22, March 23 energies. So here, just sort of a visual of these incoming collective resonances and how they affect us. You can see here this karmic aspect that is coming in. Yeah, karma is a bitch. It's hitting us at the level of apathy, the level of powerlessness, and that's what makes it so dramatic. The fear is so strong in the collective that it leads them to no other solution or I want to say a strategy than to surrender to it, which is then what we will all experience as this big awakening. The strongest part here about this courage to face something is the letting go impulse, the downsizing, the letting go of everything was so much better in the good old days. Okay, it wasn't, and you guys know this. You witnessed this. It wasn't better in the good old days. Yeah, sure. It's like when you look back at your childhood and you say, "Oh, it was so nice and easy when I was 5. I didn't have to worry about anything, But you also felt powerless. You couldn't really make any decisions in your life. You were just sort of going with whatever your parents decided, and that's, what you're still dealing with, what you're still working on. Yeah. So don't see downsizing or letting go of attachments as a problem. See it as a welcome liberation. The purpose of this confrontation with untruth comes in with the willingness to see basically our own parts in it, our silent complicity, and how we as a whole collective contributed to it. This is will be going on for at least 4 more years, the full processing of how it even got here. Okay. What will come out as part of this big reveal is also, the aspects around these earth changes, these responses of the planet to our sentiments. This is a big deal. I'll probably do an energy talk about this, because if you begin to see the earth as a living spirit being, yeah, that also has a physical experience as a planet, it's kind of hard to imagine for us, but if you actually do, then you can imagine what Gaia, yeah, this personified spirit being, is experiencing right now through all this fear and hatred. And that's then, in a nutshell, here, what we experience as these releases, yeah, of this tension, yeah, in form of earthquakes and floods. The changing weather patterns, yeah, climate change is actually not part of our fear and our hatred. That is a different aspect, because the climate on the planet is determined by the sun, and the sun is associated with other energies, not these divine mother energies. So here, just real quick, this is just for you listening here. There will be mother issues in this month, but on a much, much bigger level. So it's almost like this, going through the birth canal, this final contraction that pushes it out. And just a quick warning, you see this when I go through the important dates later. Most of March is not good for air travel. There's a lot of stuff that is going on. Here on, on the energetic level, the big reveal, as I call it here, is basically the dominant energy for all of us, including those who have not been aware of what is going on behind the scenes. Yeah, this big unveiling. And this is why, this word apocalypse will be used a lot here in March, and as sort of a linguistic determinant. You have to understand that words are codes, they're energies, and they can be misused against us as well. A deeper study of the book of Revelation, where this word originates, okay, will show you that the word apocalypse actually means unveiling. Yeah, that's why it's called the book of Revelation. Yeah, it's an instruction manual of what happens when the big reveal occurs and how we can overcome it, how to get initiated into this next era of our spiritual maturity. This is a really, really deep, advanced kind of information that I'm sharing here with you. And I will probably form a small group that wants to join me in diving really deep into the book of Revelation and decoding it from an energetic perspective, yeah, from the perspective of heartfelt spirituality. And this will be interesting. Yeah, so on the first chakra level, it's obvious, we are now really being triggered in our physical identity and everything that comes with, like what affects our physical life. Yeah, and that's why we need conscious pragmatism there. Also, for many of us, it's very physical, the month, because we do need to pay more attention to our body love. I was going to call March body love at first, because that's sort of the first thing that we will feel, but it's really about the soul love. And the soul love is then what triggers a higher level of body love in us. Very beautiful, actually. Yeah, on a second chakra level here, on emotional level, you will be confronted with very shocking, yeah, fears and darkness. It will cause and trigger terror in people. It's not going to be fun to witness that. And this is our Mother Earth. This is also why you guys need to pay attention to your relationships with your mothers in this month. On this ego identity, so chakra level, solar plexus, it is now the collapse of the false reality. So last month we could practice the collapse of our ego identity. This month is more like the collapse of this false reality that came with the ego identification. So surrender from an energetic point of view is a higher vibratory energy that really points at our true self, our true being, and that's then also what brings in the love and the relief. Yeah, that's where surrender leaves us. It relieves us of all this sort of white knuckled holding on to ego control. But it doesn't come without, a testing here. So yes, you too will feel this as very testing, even if it's just on the level of your daily routines, because you will notice that there are some things that you can no longer do. And you knew it was coming. And yes, now it's here. Yeah, so reality versus truth. Yeah, the true truth of reality versus the illusions that we want to hang on to. That's what restricts our perception, our vision. And it will lead us to a more mature, not just reasonable, but also more mature and heartfelt spirituality. So, in short, guys, we will feel triggered at a very low level, yeah, which will make us want to go into our defensive patterns, into escapism, or, for some of us, it's also the anger. But it's more the retreat and the isolation that you will feel. And this can be counteracted with the willingness to face things as they arise, and the higher vibratory soul love that is in the alignment here, that comes with the tune up connection. Yeah. So depending on which level you're at, you see it with different eyes. Yeah. In the most sophisticated, in the most untrained and unsophisticated way, you see it as an apocalyptic piece of text. Yeah, describing the end of everything. Now, if you're intellectual, you can see that there's other aspects in this, and then you get caught up in, the numbers that are in there and all these kind of things. And then when you go into this more sort of spiritual visioning, you see it all just as metaphors and all just as imagery. And when you then come back and see it through the eyes of your own soul self that is basically at home in that realm, then you see a whole nother level of that. So this is the message for you is to see it with different eyes. And even though it is difficult, because like the familiarity with how we are used to looking at things, always has this gravitational pull for us. We always revert back to it, which is why we need to train that. So the key of nurturing our soul self is really important for beginning to be able to see things with different eyes. For example, one of the important codes here is, to not fear untruths. Yeah, it's not about proving untruths. It's not about that. There is a purpose for this confrontation with untruths, and that purpose is a divine purpose that is created by the divine, okay, for a good reason, for a very good reason. And we can only see as not with those mental eyes, but with our soul eyes, when we can feel the warmth of that. There's a beautiful warmth in that. So, okay, and be disciplined with your thoughts and with your daily routines. Make sure that they match up with, what makes you feel warm. And if it doesn't make you feel warm, then don't do it. So here, just real quick before we come to an end, important dates. You see there's a lot on that sheet here for March. March starts, I mean, it kind of continues because I did talk about it in February, how we're steering toward it. The big reveal, emotionally, so the first couple of days is a bit more emotional because it will trigger something like this like sort of, I can't believe this, like this feeling of betrayal and this overwhelm that we encountered here with some of your guys' readings. This opens up something new, and that's probably something that you're not going to see a lot anywhere, because there is here right on the 5th of March, so around this time, right, a really, really significant energetic marker for me that shows me a massive manifestation field. So I've never seen a manifestation field that big. So this, whatever is coming forward here and what is manifesting here for all of us, is huge. It's big, and we can use this like a wave. We can serve this like a surfer, okay? Because it means that everything that we energize has this sort of almost instantaneous and miraculous. Well, okay, scratch the word instantaneous because that creates the wrong expectations. But this turning things around, really making a huge, big impact with what we're feeding. So pay attention here around the beginning of March, that everything that you are thinking and imagining, especially your fears, they will manifest faster around this time as well. Yeah, so it's basically 3 weeks, from the 5th to the 15th, or 21st, that you really need to pay attention to this. That's why I made that big part of the alignment here for March. So yeah, it gets really hot collectively around the 6th and 7th. The new reality here, following the continued reveal, is kicking in. And this will be very shocking for a lot of people, but also very liberating for some. Just remember that if you've been on the side of, truth telling, it is not about being right. This is a very challenging awakening for like 80% of the population, and we need to apply all our empathy here, and patience. So the problem with all of this, this overwhelm and so forth, is that it brings in a really strong sort of notion or impulse to escape the whole thing, especially for those of us here energetically sensitive from the 15th till the 23rd. addictions, checking out, you know, not wanting to participate, and this is not the solution, guys. Yeah, so please stay real. Yeah, take the time, slow things down, feel into things, but don't torture yourself with your fears or your triggers. Okay, just, you know, be present, stay present, work on your daily routines. Yeah, add you know, like 3 meditation sessions throughout the day, just so that you can stay in control of your energy management, because it's going to get worse. Okay. Yeah. Around the last the last 10 days, 20th till 30th, there's a lot of stuff going on here in the collective, and a lot of that has to do with real estate, and it's also not a good time for air travel, and there is more of this earth changes. There's more earthquakes to come, that too. So but anything that has to do with air travel, with moving in the air, is impeded. Yeah, so I would not plan a big vacation in last 10 days of March. Part of that is obviously, and this is we have this around solstices and equinoxes. You know, the veils of reality being thinner, and you know, if new moons and full moons come into this equation, then obviously all that amplifies it. So at the equinox, and we're going to have a karmic collective healing session there, or claim session there, here at transCODES, there is something that is starting to kick in, and that is that we all will realize that as a collective, we need healing. Yeah, this is a process that will take a long time. Yeah, so here at the bottom you see reveal is until 2027. That's how long we need to process all the stuff that is being revealed, how we were kept in the dark, how corporations, governments, and you know, politicians and so forth have decided the fate of you know, the bigger collective in a way, that isn't really going to be that easy to process. Just think of your own interpersonal processes. Yeah, the chaotic time though, that's only until 2025. So there we will feel this starting to slow down, and we can actually go into this healing. But this realization that we need healing as a collective, yeah, it's like when you talk to someone who just broke free from a narcissistic relationship. Okay, this takes a while, guys. Yeah, it's a process, not an event. But speaking of events, then right on the 21st, we got like a really big event. This is what we have all been feeling as like coming. So don't nail it on the day. It's usually the days before where things kind of come into the manifestation, but sometimes you can't see it right away. So when I read out the energies of something, I'm reading out the emotions and you know, the thought energies of the collective, and that is often a little bit delayed. It will have a big effect on money and finances, and like I've mentioned before, the real estate market. So around the 23rd of March, we'll see you know, like real chaotic times in the stock market, in the crypto market, and you know, anything that has to do with money and banks. It is, as you all know, also a really good opportunity when these old systems fall apart. So don't be afraid. Yeah, make sure that you are well diversified, that you have values that are not affected by such collective ups and downs. Okay. But really what is then going to start to kick in more and more, and this is, I guess, the part that triggers this all, is the war talk. Yeah, the literally talking about World War III. I've mentioned this already in the forecast for 23 till 25, that we're going to enter a phase now where China is an active participant in this war talk, and where we will see new allies, new alliances forming. Very surprising for some people, yeah, because this Cold War, yeah, this like Anglo-American versus Russia communism axis, that is falling apart. We will have a new order that is forming. So that can also really keep or be responsible for us being so shocked, because it's just something that we could never imagine, at least not those of us here alive, because we grew up with these views and mindsets of how the world is ordered, and all that is now sort of slipping into chaos, yeah, and that takes a while for us to process. So really what it comes down to here is keeping our side of the fence clean on all levels, in regards to our own spiritual connection, in regards to our relationships, in regards to our finances, in regards to our daily routines, in regards to, our collectives. Yeah, it's really about cleaning up our own act, okay? Because anything that we allow, be it through silent complicity or, some kind of brain fart, yeah, because we think it's the best thing ever, okay, that can be used to control us or manipulate us, will slap us in the face. Okay, so we're going to have to really work on this inner connection that can inform us about these things that we are not able or willing to see, yeah, so that we can maneuver through those chaotic times of big reveal and big awakening with more ease, and without this real profound sort of core fear being triggered, the fear of our ego, yeah, that binds us to the 3D, the fear of the end of death, or the end of life, the fear of death, yeah, the end of everything. So that's the illusion that we're up against, and this is why soul love can come in as the antidote, because if we realize that we actually, in essence, are a spirit being, we don't really need to be afraid of that too much. My self-healing tip for you, aside from all these sessions that I offer, like an energy training gym every month that are aligned to these collective energies, is breathing. You really, really need to work with breathing, and there are some breathing techniques and modalities that I offer that we practice in conjunction with the energy work, which is called heart breathing, yeah, and I am breathing as the more directed version of this. Also, etheric reconciliation is a big theme for March, and yeah, addressing addictions, any kind of addiction, substance or behavior, but also hidden addictions, yeah, such as codependency and the things that we externalize our power to. Also, something that I would recommend strongly is that you refrain from victim drama, because there is going to be so much in our collective about this that it's just going to pull you, it's just going to drag you down your own, downward spiral. Yeah, conscious energy management is really, really important in March. Here you can see the sessions. There's the preliminary energy calendar. After I fill in the energetic quality of each day, you can see this online on my website. It's a new feature that my website has. I hope you love that. We're going to go into the energetic visioning aspect of energy work, where we learn to direct our energies a little more. We are going to do a heart connection marathon here starting on Tuesday already. We will work with the collective karma aspect of the equinox. And with the Heart Warriors, this is not part of the public sessions, we will do the etheric reconciliation modality, which allows us to liberate ourselves and find peace with some of the things that are difficult for us to address in 3D. And then we're going to close the month with Grace Redemption, with a 9-session, 3-day marathon. Grace Redemption is my personal favorite. Yeah, such a beautiful way of, well, basically redeeming ourselves. Yeah, so this is what I come up with here, just real quick. Physically, you will feel quite challenged in March, especially if you're energetically sensitive. You'll feel this fogginess and this heaviness in your body, often also accompanied with headaches. So this will make you feel low in energy, but please don't misunderstand this. Those are often signs that there's a lot going on in you energetically. Your etheric self is going to be extremely busy in March, which is also why it's really worth it paying attention to what you put out there, because your etheric reality is determined by the quality of your thoughts, yeah, of your mental energy. So don't succumb to the urge to wanting to escape, guys. That's not the right exit. That's the wrong exit. Address the addictions that can control you, that can restrict you, that can manipulate you, or that can, well, take power away from you. Yeah. The physical systems that are mostly affected in March are your nervous system. So that's the overwhelm and the shock and the fear triggers, and your heart and lung health. Yeah, so that's something that you can, use, breathing techniques for. Obviously, stretching and yoga is always good to expand, your diaphragm, and, to help your lung to get in good air, good fresh air. Yeah, and, your heart is linked to your lung through the vascular system. I talked a lot about the vascular system in the last 3 years in conjunction with the pandemic. So this is not pandemic related. This has to do with, clearing the crud out now. Yeah, with clearing out the restrictions. So when you think of what restricts you, when your blood vessels are restricted, be it through your diet or through your lack of activity, or, vaccines that you've, pumped into your system, then you need to take counteractions, to help to clear out your pipes, if you will, to clear out those vessels, or else your lung and your heart aren't going to be able to circulate the oxygen correctly in your system. Yeah, so get out into nature as much as you can. Yeah, sit in a greenhouse if you live in an area where it's too cold, and flush yourself with good, fresh oxygen. All right, everyone, this is it. Here we come to a close. Thank you very much for sharing, for coming. Okay, I'm looking at a very interesting, probably very busy month for myself and for transCODES here. So as I mentioned earlier, it's a good month to do the training club, because the sessions are really profound here in regards to dealing with all this outer stuff that is going on. Listen to the energy alignment, soul love as much as you can. Yeah, and tune in, share my videos, my alignments, my articles. Yeah, and maybe consider to do a personal energy coaching series, or even an energy healing series with me. Talk to you soon. Stay conscious.
Soul love. To the love, the truth, the good and the beautiful within, I dedicate myself. I am a soul with a body, a wondrous divine creation. I have my own insights, my own purpose, my own freedom, and my own power to grow and choose my higher expression. When I can remember that I am not just a body, a material being, but an important part of a greater evolution beyond my ego's understanding, I can feel my soul self pulsing through me. Any thought, sentiment, imagery, or action that increases love, truth, and freedom in my life feeds and strengthens the relationship with my soul. But any thought, sentiment, imagery, or action that increases fear or hatred feeds the darkness in me and shrivels my soul. If I can show my love for my soul by nourishing our spiritual relationship, I can not only feel but also reclaim the power of the unified soul self that I am, and feel the warmth of the love in me that brought me into this existence. In this light, I can withstand all my ego fears, because I know that I am not alone. I can embrace all learning experiences as the evolutionary path to unfold my highest expression in this reality, and easily reclaim all that is lost or that was given or taken away in the past. I can see the divine creation in the confrontation with untruth, and fear not. Because when I stand in my truth, I can allow the mistakes of the past to become important guidance to show me what I no longer need, and end the seeking for love on the outside, because I can feel soul love in me. I realize now that I can only feel this inner love by embodying my true self. My true self can show me and remind me of the true purpose of this life's experience. It does so through the quality of my body, my emotions, my thoughts and sentiments. It is neutral and gives me all the freedom I need to explore and learn, but can also be strict and direct when I go against myself unknowingly. I also realize now that all getting, having, owning or seeking for higher expression on the outside is wasted energy. The food I need is not of this 3D world. My soul love tells me what I need. I want to become one, commune and collaborate with the power that brought me into this existence, the unconditional love of a higher power that wants to see me, all of us, and all creation grow, evolve, and expand. What I didn't realize until now is that the template and instruction for how to manifest this love for myself and others is already in me. I'm still learning how my unconscious sensations, feelings, and perceptions can confuse or weaken my resolve as they pull me into my ego's pain of the past and the fear of the future and all the error perceptions that come with this. As soon as I can feel connected to my soul and the light that guides all life, I can see, think, and feel clear and free of inner and outer distortions again. When I choose to live in truth and authenticity, I am choosing light within me, the very light that nourishes and strengthens my soul. Conscious soul love shows me the path to courage. But when I choose to live in fear and hatred, I'm choosing the darkness in me, which can only lead me to more fear, confusion, coldness, scarcity, and separation. Becoming aware of the conscious soul self that I am, I now choose to follow only the guiding voice of my true self. Whenever I can remember this, I can trust in my heart's clarity and neutralize and let go of all external influences that do not serve my highest good, and feel courage to get past all my challenges. Due to this power of truth guiding me, I realize that self-healing is a choice and nothing but a new way of conscious being and living in truth. That it is a healthier and more loving attitude toward my body, mind, and spirit, and with it my own soul. Through deliberate breathing and conscious I am awareness, I can overcome all powerless stored in me and thus self-heal and recover all that suffers from the emptiness that came with the illusion of separation from within. I'm ready to discern and consciously choose what I need and what I want without fear, lack, or judgment. I'm ready to stay present and consciously discern all that either nourishes or shrivels my soul. All that I allow in and what I put out. All that I ingest or expose my body to. All that I energize with my thoughts. All that I project and absorb through my unconscious emotions. And with it, all that I express with my words, attitudes, actions, and choices into this reality. I herewith dedicate my energy only to what brings more love and more courage, what heals me, what empowers my true being, and what nourishes my soul. I am aware of the importance of making everything a conscious choice, because I understand that I not only have the authority and power to choose who I want to experience this life as, but that others have this choice as well. Yes, now I am ready. I am ready to become a conscious soul self. I am ready to take responsibility for all my manifestations, conscious or unconscious, because I know how to do this now. Now, I can truly rest in my heart. As all there is left to do is to live and create my life with the courage to love my soul more than my ego. Thank you.